You are not broke because you don't earn enough. You are broke because of 12 specific categories of spending that are quietly, consistently, and ruthlessly transferring your wealth to someone else's pocket every single month, while you convince yourself that each individual purchase is completely reasonable. And that's the trap. None of these purchases feel catastrophic in isolation. That's exactly why they work. A $6 coffee isn't going to ruin your financial life, but a $6 coffee that is part of a broader pattern of unconscious, emotionally driven, socially pressured spending, that pattern, compounded over 10 years, is the difference between financial freedom and financial paralysis. In 2026, these 12 purchases have evolved. Some are new. Some are old enemies wearing new clothes. All of them are worth examining with brutal honesty. Let's go through every single one. Start with your bank statement. Right now. Go back 30 days and highlight every recurring charge. Most people, when they actually do this exercise, find between $300 and $600 in monthly subscriptions they either forgot about, rarely use, or actively don't use at all. Streaming platforms, music services, cloud storage they upgraded 2 years ago, a meditation app they opened 4 times, a gym they stopped going to in February, a software tool for a project they abandoned, a premium tier for something the free version handles perfectly well. The subscription economy was engineered specifically to exploit the human tendency to avoid small, recurring friction. The charge is small enough that it doesn't trigger alarm. The cancellation process is deliberately complicated. And the psychological inertia of "I might use it eventually" keeps the charge running for months or years past its usefulness. In 2026, the average person has more active subscriptions than at any point in history. The number keeps growing because every product, every app, every service has converted to a recurring revenue model. It's good for their business. It is systematically bad for yours. The fix is not complicated. Audit quarterly. Cancel anything with less than 4 uses in the past 30 days. Use a tool like a dedicated card for subscriptions so every charge is visible in one place. The savings are immediate, permanent, and require zero sacrifice of quality of life. This is the lowest hanging fruit in personal finance, and most people still haven't picked it. A new car loses between 15 and 25% of its value in the first year. By year 5, the average new vehicle has lost 60% of its purchase price. You are not buying transportation. You are buying a rapidly depreciating asset with borrowed money at interest, insuring it at premium rates because it's new, and servicing it at dealership prices because the warranty requires it. In 2026, the average new car payment in the United States is north of $700 per month. Add insurance, another $150 to $250 depending on the vehicle and location. Add maintenance, registration, fuel. You are looking at $1,000 to $1,200 per month for the privilege of driving something that is worth significantly less every single morning you wake up. The wealthy do not buy new cars, not because they can't, because they understand depreciation. Warren Buffett drove the same car for years past the point where it made any financial sense to hold on to it, not because he was cheap, but because he understood that every dollar deployed into a depreciating asset is a dollar not compounding in the market. The move in 2026 is a 2 to 4 year old certified pre-owned vehicle. Someone else absorbed the catastrophic first-year depreciation. The reliability data exists. The price is a fraction of new, and the difference in your monthly cash flow, redirected to investments, changes your financial trajectory permanently. A car is a tool. Buy the tool. Don't finance the brand. The fast fashion industry's entire business model depends on you buying low-quality items frequently at prices that feel low but accumulate into a significant annual expense. The average American spends over $1,800 per year on clothing. A significant portion of that is on items worn fewer than 5 times. In 2026, with ultra-fast fashion platforms delivering trend cycles that now turn over in weeks instead of seasons, the pressure to keep up has never been more aggressive or more expensive. The mathematical reality is this: 5 $200 quality pieces that last 5 years cost you $200 per year. 20 $40 pieces that fall apart in 6 months cost you $1,600 per year. You spent 8 times more. You have a closet full of things you don't wear, and you look worse doing it because quality and cheap fast fashion are not the same thing visually. Build a smaller, higher quality wardrobe. Cost per wear is the only metric that matters. The dopamine hit of a new $25 item is real, brief, and expensive at scale. Food delivery, the most normalized wealth destruction in daily life. This one has gotten significantly worse since 2020, and it is now fully normalized, which is exactly what makes it so dangerous. A meal that costs $12 at a restaurant costs you $22 to $28 delivered. Service fee, delivery fee, small order fee, expanded radius fee, tip, platform markup on the food itself. You are paying a 60 to 120% premium for the convenience of not going to get it yourself. If you order delivery 4 times per week, which is below average for urban millennials and Gen Z in 2026, you are spending roughly $400 to $500 per month on food delivery alone. That is $4,800 to $6,000 per year, after-tax dollars, going to a logistics platform, a gig economy driver, and a restaurant that is charging you more on the app than they charge walk-in customers. $6,000 per year invested at 10% annual return for 20 years is $382,000. You are not ordering dinner. You are liquidating your retirement account in $28 increments while watching television. Meal prep 2 days a week. Cook with intention 3 nights. Allow yourself 1 or 2 deliberate scheduled food deliveries per week as a genuine treat, not as the default mode of feeding yourself. The savings are immediate and the habit compounds. Lottery tickets and gambling apps. The poor tax with a new interface. The lottery has always been described as a tax on people who are bad at math. In 2026, gambling apps have made that tax frictionless, gamified, and available in your pocket 24 hours a day. Sports betting is now legal in most US states. The platforms are slick, the onboarding is seamless, and the marketing is relentless. And the house edge, the mathematical guarantee that the platform extracts money from you over any meaningful sample size, has not changed because the app has a better interface. The average regular lottery and gambling spender moves $1,200 to $2,000 per year through these channels. The expected return on that capital is negative, by design, structurally, without exception. Compare that to the expected return on a broad market index fund over 10 years. The contrast is not subtle. This purchase category is unique because it is sold exclusively as entertainment to people who, in significant numbers, are treating it as an investment strategy. It is not an investment strategy. It is a mathematically guaranteed transfer of your money to a corporation. Every dollar that goes here is a dollar that cannot compound anywhere else. Premium credit card fees for rewards you don't actually use. Credit card rewards are one of the most brilliant marketing constructions in financial history. The premise is irresistible. Spend money you were going to spend anyway and get rewarded for it. The execution for most people is a net negative. Annual fees on premium travel cards now run $550, $695, even $695 for the highest tier products. The rewards justify the fee. If you actually use the credits, book through the portal, activate the benefits, redeem the points optimally, and don't carry a balance. Most people do none of those things consistently. They pay the annual fee. They accumulate points they don't redeem. They carry a balance that accrues interest at 24%, which immediately and completely obliterates any rewards value. And they renew the card annually because the idea of the rewards feels like value, even when the execution delivers none. In 2026, audit every premium card. Calculate your actual realized value from benefits over the past 12 months. If it doesn't exceed the fee by a meaningful margin, cancel it. A no-fee 2% cash back card captures most of the practical value with none of the complexity and none of the annual extraction. The extended warranty, insurance on things that don't need it. Extended warranties are one of the highest margin products sold at retail. The reason they're pushed so aggressively at checkout, the reason the salesperson circles back to it 3 times, is because the profit margin on a warranty is often higher than the margin on the product itself. The mathematical reality is simple. The price of the warranty is set above the expected cost of repair, adjusted for the probability that most people never file a claim. The retailer profits on every warranty sold. That is only possible if the warranty is priced above its actual value to you. Self-insure instead. Create a dedicated appliance and electronics repair fund. Deposit what you would have paid in warranty fees into it monthly. In 2 years, you have a fund that covers real repairs and belongs to you, not to the retailer, if nothing breaks. Daily premium coffee. Not because of the price, but because of the pattern. The internet has been arguing about this one for 15 years. Let me give you the only framing that actually matters. A $7 daily specialty coffee is not going to make you poor. If it is a conscious, deliberate, genuine source of daily pleasure that you have evaluated and decided is worth the cost, keep it. Joy is a legitimate line item in a personal budget. The problem is not the coffee. The problem is the pattern of unconsidered daily spending, of which the coffee is simply the most visible example. If you are buying the coffee because you're tired and it's a habit and you don't really think about it, that's the issue. Because that same unconscious autopilot is running on your lunch, your afternoon snack, your after-work drink, your weekend brunch, and 12 other daily microtransactions that you are not consciously choosing. The coffee is a proxy for a broader relationship with spending. People who make deliberate decisions about their $7 coffee tend to make deliberate decisions about everything else. People who buy it on autopilot tend to be on autopilot about most of their spending. Audit the autopilot. Keep what genuinely improves your life. Cut what you wouldn't consciously choose if you were paying attention. That's the exercise. Not deprivation, consciousness. Buying new when the used market is objectively better. In 2026, the secondary market for almost every consumer category is deeper, more accessible, and more reliable than at any point in history. Furniture, electronics, designer clothing, sports equipment, musical instruments, power tools, baby gear, bicycles, books. The resale infrastructure, from specialized platforms to general marketplaces, has matured to the point where finding high-quality used items at 40 to 70% below retail is not a project. It takes 20 minutes. The psychological resistance to buying used is mostly social conditioning dressed up as quality concern. A 5-year-old KitchenAid mixer purchased for $150 on a resale platform functions identically to a new one at $450. A 2-year-old iPhone purchased refurbished for $400 runs the same software as the new model at $1,100. The wealth gap between people who default to new and people who default to used across a lifetime of purchases is genuinely significant. Not on any single transaction, across hundreds of them. The habit is the asset. Buy used first. Buy new only when the used market genuinely cannot meet the need. Paying for status in categories where status doesn't pay you back. There are categories where premium spending delivers real functional value, and there are categories where the premium exists entirely to signal status to other people and delivers nothing additional to you personally. Learn to tell the difference. A quality mattress at $1,200 versus a cheap one at $300 delivers measurably different sleep quality over 10 years. The premium is justified by function. A $1,200 designer belt versus a $60 belt performs identically as a belt. The premium is purchased entirely for the logo, for communication to other people about your economic position. In 2026, status spending has metastasized. It's not just luxury goods. It's premium gym memberships in high-visibility locations. It's the specific apartment building in the specific neighborhood because of how it sounds when you say it. It's the car that is beyond transportation. It's the restaurant chosen for the Instagram story rather than the food. None of these are automatically wrong, but if you are buying them while simultaneously complaining about not having money, you have identified the problem. Status purchased through spending is rented status. You stop paying, it disappears. Wealth is status, permanent, compounding, independent of what you're wearing or driving or where you live. Every dollar redirected from rented status to real assets is a dollar building something that actually belongs to you. Financial products with hidden fees, paying for the privilege of being managed badly. This one doesn't feel like a purchase. That's why it stays on the list. Actively managed mutual funds with expense ratios of 1% to 2% annually. Whole life insurance products sold as investments. Variable annuities with surrender charges. Financial advisors charging 1% AUM on assets they're not meaningfully outperforming the index with. In 2026, the information gap that justified paying these fees has essentially closed. Broad market index funds with expense ratios of 0.03% are available to anyone with a brokerage account. The evidence that active management, on average, underperforms passive indexing over 10-year periods is not controversial. It is the dominant finding of decades of financial research. The math on fees is brutal and invisible. A 1% annual fee on a $500,000 portfolio is $5,000 per year. Over 20 years, accounting for the compounding on that extracted capital, a 1% fee difference costs you somewhere between $100,000 and $200,000 in terminal wealth, not $5,000 per year, the compounded total. You are not paying for expertise. In most cases, you are paying for the comfort of feeling managed. Check your fund expense ratios. Understand every fee in every financial product you hold. Move toward low-cost index funds wherever you are not getting demonstrably superior value. The fee is the purchase, and most people never see it. Lifestyle inflation. The purchase that contains all the others. This is the one that matters most, because this is not a single purchase. This is a system, and it is the system that makes all 11 previous purchases feel inevitable. Lifestyle inflation is the automatic, socially expected, psychologically seductive process of expanding your spending in proportion to your income growth. Every raise becomes a better apartment. Every promotion becomes a better car. Every good year becomes a better vacation, a better wardrobe, a better restaurant, a better version of everything. And none of the individual upgrades feel wrong. You earned the raise. You deserve better. You've been working hard. That narrative is not false. It's just incomplete. The part of the narrative that's missing is this. Every lifestyle upgrade is a permanent increase in the monthly overhead required to maintain your standard of living. And every dollar of overhead is a dollar that cannot compound. The people who build serious wealth are not the highest earners. Study after study confirms this. They are the people who maintained the largest gap between what they earned and what they spent, and deployed that gap into assets consistently across years and decades. A person earning $80,000 and saving 30% is building wealth faster than a person earning $150,000 and saving 5%. The math is not close. In 2026, with social media making everyone's upgraded life visible and aspirational, with one-click purchasing removing all friction from consumption, with BNPL schemes making the expensive feel affordable in the moment, lifestyle inflation is more aggressive than it has ever been. The antidote is not deprivation, it is intentionality. Every upgrade should be a conscious decision, evaluated against the opportunity cost of the capital deployed. Some upgrades will pass that test, many will not. The ones that don't pass it, that gap between what you earn and what you keep, that is the material your financial future is built from. Guard it like it's the most important asset you have. Because it is. 12 purchases, some obvious, some invisible, all of them working against you every single month. Here's the summary that matters. None of these purchases are about deprivation. Every single item on this list has a conscious version that is acceptable and an unconscious version that is quietly destructive. The goal is not to stop spending. The goal is to stop spending without thinking. The wealthy are not people who earn more. They are people who leak less, who plug the holes in the bucket before they worry about filling it faster, who understand that the distance between their current financial position and the one they want is not an income problem. It is an allocation problem. You don't need a raise, you need a review. Open your bank statement this week. Go through every transaction for the last 30 days. Identify which of these 12 categories are present. Quantify the monthly total. And then, just once, run that number forward 20 years at 10% annual return. See what you're actually spending, then decide if it's worth it. Share this with someone who needs to hear it. Drop in the comments which one hit hardest. I read every single one. See you in the next one.